And welcome to the 1% Club. We are glad you're here. Got a great little production for you today, man. Great to see everyone, all the champions on here, man. What's up, Brian Moses and Craig, all my brothers? Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Clark's on here. Carmen's on here. I love it, man. Herb's firing up his camera. Carolyn, hi, Carolyn. George, look at that. Jim Fury, you're all here. I love it, love it, love it. Well, welcome. We got a great lineup for you today. So if you don't have a pen and a notepad, you'll want one. I got some great information for you to write down. Let's rock and roll. Hey, Daylin from Sell a Home, Save a Child, Forward Edge. This is really getting good. I love it. Okay, so we're going to do this. So, number one, I was doing some research on a Greek philosopher who said something famous, and it was so famous, there's survived 2,000 years. It was 6465 AD. Who can unmute yourself and tell us what AD stands for? I had to go to Chat GPT. Don't cheat, but who wants to take a guess? BC means before Christ. What does AD mean?
After the
After he
domino.
jumped.
What?
Is it after Domonimo or something? It's after
Yes, Richard. Richard got it. I had it wrong. I thought of
I'm
BC
English,
before
that's why I know
Christ.
it.
AD. The English. No, you guys are smart. So AD, I always thought was after death. It's not. That is a myth, a misunderstanding. It actually stands for Anno Domini. I think you said it better. Richard said it. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, which is Latin for the year of our Lord. And so it was actually 6465 years after Christ was born. So it's weird. Before BC, before Christ, AD, it sounds like it, but it's not after death because he didn't die. Anyways, that's a whole other thing. He was crucified and he rose. But we'll save that for another day. So it's actually 31 to 32 years after he was crucified. But Seneca is the Greek philosopher, and he said something profound, which has survived for millennial. And everybody agrees this is spot on because throughout history, people have struggled. The Great Depression, 1929, the stock market crash, the Great Depression, the 30s, the Oklahoma Dust Bowl, the different hard times that America has gone through. 1979, when the interest rates went to 19%. You think six and a half, six and three quarters, seven's terrible. Try 19%. I remember as a kid, there was less food to eat in the Gove household because my parents were real estate agents and brokers. So I remember my mom going, "Can you eat at Carrick's house?" Because we were just wiping out the pantry. We were like, how old was I then? It was like 12, 13, 14 years old. And you bring like five of your buddies and you're playing hoop in the backyard. And then you're hungry and you just wipe out the Apple Jacks and the Pop Tarts and the Doritos and all the horrible food they sold in the 70s. It's so good for you. Skippy peanut butter, you know. Anyways, Wonder Bread, full of vitamins and minerals. So that's probably the most lethal. You might as well just eat styrofoam. But what Seneca said was it's not because things are difficult that you do not try. It's because you do not try that things are difficult. And it's so profound, because you can always just get down on the economy or interest rates or inflation or who's in political office or what wars going on around the world. That stuff is happening all the time. But basically, I love this. It is not because things are difficult that you do not try. It's because you do not try that things are difficult. So I want to challenge the thought of what trying means. I was talking to one of the top agents in our company. She's the number one land and ranch agent in America for EXP, number one. And her name is Jess Ross. And she was talking to me about what she did to become the number one agent. And she used to sell like 30, 40 homes a year. And she made a decision that she was going to just really grow her business exponentially. And so what she did was she decided to put in massive action. There's this thing, Tony Robbins always says massive action creates results. And you can listen to Tony or not listen to Tony. Brian Moses is a certified senior leader trainer with Tony Robbins. I've seen him with the jacket and the senior leader. We're all jealous and envious of the senior leaders. But Tony always says, it's so simple. You want to be awesome at crown molding, get out there and market like a wild man. You want to sell hot spring spas, you talk to two or three people a day or 100 a day. It's massive action. You want to sell Bitcoin, you want to sell solar, you want to do financial services, insurance, EXP, homes, agent attraction. And so Jess, what she did was she said, I'm going to text 50 people every day. So Daylin raises money to save children. Daylin, what you could do in marketing your efforts is text 50 people every day and do it. I don't want to bug anyone. Just keep thinking of the kids not having food to eat and medical, and that you're rescuing them off the streets and off Nicaraguan, junk piles. Like, forget that. If someone's put off that you reached out to them about Solo Home, Save a Child, and Fort Edge, that's on them. But so I think when we think of how uncomfortable it is, we're thinking about how uncomfortable it is for us. We're not thinking about our kids, our wife, our husband, our family. Think about your family and make the calls. Think about your family and make the calls. Think about the public schools your kids are in when you'd rather have them in private schools. And so basically, what Jess did was she says, I'm going to text 50 people a day and say, hey, you don't know me, but I'm Jess Ross. I'm in South Carolina. I want to be your number one referral partner for the state. I think, well, that's kind of, you should just be Nashville, not Tennessee. Well, guess what? She did 50 a day every day. She did 250 a week. She did 1,000 a month. And she did this for an entire year. She's never done it since. She went from 40 sales to 75. This year, she'll do over 100, just like that. Just like that. It is. Ooh, I didn't get the snap right. Oh, I hurt my wrist. Oh my God, that last one hurt. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. It is not magic. Write this down. It is motion. Your situation you're in, good or bad, will be cured by motion, getting your butt out there and facing rejection. But I mean, nobody likes it. I don't like to be rejected, but I'm more excited about the yeses. I'm looking for the yeses. You could look for the manure or look for the pony, right? You can look at what a pain it is to have a vineyard, or you could look at the beautiful wine that it does at the end. You could look at the work or you could look at the reward. The choice is yours. What you focus on expands. So if you're thinking about the problem, you got a problem. And there's a great story. A guy named Coleman Orr told the story about this turnpike going into New Jersey, the New Jersey Turnpike. It was Friday night. Everyone's getting out of town. Traffic's legendary horrendous leaving the city in New Jersey. And the semi truck was overloaded and this and that. It's going into the turnpike and it's going in at 70 miles an hour. It was too tall for the turnpike. He didn't catch the 19 feet, 8-inch thing. And it was like 20 feet. And that thing hit at 70 miles an hour and just goes boom, into the turnpike like a cork in a wine bottle. And it shut down the entire turnpike on a Friday night. Traffic was backed up for miles and miles and miles. And we're talking about 10,000 people stuck. They're just not moving. And everyone's like, oh my God, we got to get the semi out of there. They call wrecker after wrecker after wrecker. They had the thing's on fire. They're trying to put the fire out, but they couldn't really get in there because it just wedged in like a cork in a bottle. And they finally get the fire out and they're hooking up chains to it. They got all these, like, they're trying to pull it out. It is jammed in there so hard. And they're freaking out. Oh my God, look at the backup and the news cameras and the helicopters. And we got a problem. We got to do something. And like they can't get this truck out. And three little kids were watching on their BMX bicycles. They're watching. They're just watching. And one of the kids goes, hey, mister, why don't you let the air out of the tires? Because one thing little kids know about bikes is they got air out of the tires. So when you let the air out of the semi tires, the semi lowered and they pulled it right out. But all the adults, all the rescuers were focused on the problem. They weren't focused on the simple solution. That is a true story that actually happened. So right now, you have a problem. Oh, not all of us. No, we all do. It may be financial. It may be physical. It may be spiritual. It may be faith. You're having a crisis of faith. It may be with your kids. It may be with your fitness. It may be with your health. It may be with the fact that you work 24/7. You don't take a day off. I meet people all the time. They work 7 days a week, which is crazy. Brian, if he unmuted himself, Tony Robbins says, the top experts in the world say working 7 days a week is a surefire way to do burnout, and you are less effective. You are better off if you unplug 1 day a week and you actually are a dad, you're a mom. It's okay. I want to give you permission to be a dad and a mom. or like, well, I'm single, I don't have kids. You just need to unplug and get in a hammock and take a 2 hour nap, or watch golf, or watch football, or go for a hike along the ocean, or go for a hike in the mountains, or hunt or fish. But I might miss a deal. Miss a deal. You're going to miss your life. You're going to miss your life. You're going to miss your kids growing up. And so you can't get the genie back in the bottle. Once they're gone, they're gone. Um, so maybe you heard me say this, but I was at 10X. I go to this stuff all the time. And there was a guy there sold his company for $2 billion, Jimmy John's. And he was great. I actually really liked him, but he made one comment that made me really sad for him. He says, I worked so hard building my $1 billion Subway sub sandwich business. And he was fun. He was a great speaker. And he said, I actually wasn't there for my kids. I completely missed my kids growing up. I was an absentee dad. And he said, we're billionaires now. We've kind of made up. We've let bygones be gone. We've dealt. We're good. We're moving on. He kind of brushed it off. But to me, that's a tragic. Sam Walton, Walmart, same thing, was not there for his kids. And I just think that was just a massive thing. So right now, maybe it's your grandkids you need to be there for. Maybe it's your kids. Maybe you don't have kids, but you have a wife who's counting on you, or a husband who's counting on you. And it's so hard. It's so hard. Don't focus on the problem. Focus on what is good. That's why Tony Robbins is always going gratitude, gratitude. What the breath, when you can't breathe and you're sick and you have a hard time breathing, just be grateful for the breath in your lungs right now, man. And so what you focus on expands. Someone type that in the chat. What you focus on expands. And if you're focused on how hard it is, it's just going to be harder. If you're focused on the interest rates and how you can't sell a home because interest rate, it's just going to be harder. But focus on, what good can come. So again, it is not because things are difficult that you do not try it. It's because you do not try that things are difficult. So what is trying? Talking to 50 people a day. Now she just texted them, and it seemed like nothing was happening for the longest time. But after a year, and she said, I go, do you do 50 like every morning? She goes, I did every morning. Sometimes I'd be at 30 and I'd have to leave for to go to the doctor, or something would happen. I'd have to leave, but I never went to bed until I finished texting the last 10 or 20. I did 50 every day. I was just a dog about it. And she did 50 a week, 250, 50 a day, 250 a week, 1,000 a month. Now that's massive action. And she went from 40, 45 deals a year to 75 in 1 year, almost doubled. And then this year she's wrapping in on 100, just like that. So if you're talking to 3 or 4 or 5 people a day about real estate, Daylin, if you're talking to 3 or 4 or 5 people a day about forward edge and sell a home and save a child, I just want everyone to know you're playing patty cake, you're playing hopscotch, you're playing kickball, and you're a fifth grader. I'm calling you out right here, right now. I'm calling you out. It's time for daddy to be daddy. It's time for mama to be mama. My trainer, Vivian, she's training me at the gym this morning. She has 2 sons that are 23 and 25. I go, did you ever just lay? And she's Puerto Rican, baby. There's a Puerto Rican there. They can be fiery. I go, the kids, did your boys fear you? She goes, oh, heck yeah. She goes, they're still afraid of me if I get really bad. But my trainer, Vivian, she's awesome. She's like 5'3". She's tiny, but she scares me. She was really nice to me. Told Juan, her partner, he's my main trainer. I go, did you make dinner for her last night? She's sweet to me today. Usually she's just killing me, but it's fun. But so here's the deal. You got to go caveman or cavewoman, or you got to just say, this is my lot in life. My current situation is my lot in life, period. And if you're good with that, be good with that. There's nothing wrong with it. You don't have to constantly have more, do more, be more. But I think that you can do amazing things and still have a great marriage. Do amazing things and still be a great mom and a great dad. I think it's a cop out. And so like, well, I don't want to lose my faith in Jesus, so I'm just gonna do this. You're like the person who buried the talent, the parable of the talents. And so God give you abilities, and trust me, you can give more, do more, be more, and show up more. And there's time to do it all. But that's why we're always preaching time blocking. And then you live by your calendar, not your emotions. Clark Broom taught me that 40 years ago. You see Clark Broom on the thing here? 40 years ago, he taught me to live by my calendar, not my emotions. If my calendar says I'm doing an open house Saturday, Sunday, that's what I do. But my emotions say, but you got invited to go houseboating this week and it's 112 degrees. Wouldn't you rather go houseboating? Of course, I would rather go houseboating on somebody's new 60-foot houseboat with the water slide, and everyone's gonna have such a great time. And they got the new ski boat, Mastercraft, and they're gonna go skiing and tubing, and it's just gonna be a great time. I never once took the bait. I did the open houses. And this summer, I got invited to go skiing and helicopter skiing. I remember getting invited to go up to Canada and do in Banff, Canada. Guess what? Never said yes. I did the open houses in the rain, in 41 degrees, 38 degrees. I was so wet, I'd have to change my clothes, bring a towel to do my open houses. I'm the only one doing them. Everyone else canceled theirs. I picked up 19 buyers in one day, ran their credit for 37, 19 got approved. I picked up 19 buyers in a day because I'm not lazy and I got a dream and I'm willing to do what it takes. And so, you know what? And guess what? Well, then you just worked like a dog and you sold 400 homes a year. Yeah, yeah. But I was a little league coach. I was a soccer coach. I was there Tuesdays and Thursdays at Little League. I was there Mondays and Wednesdays when it was in the fall and it was soccer. And I was there all day Saturday for those soccer tournaments that never ended. And I don't regret a bit of it. So, so it's your turn. And I get it that it's hard. And listen to me, write this down. Everyone write this down. It's hard. Ready? Until it isn't. And you can get to the isn't part in 2 or 3 weeks, not 2 or 3 years, 2 or 3 weeks. If you will suffer for the next 2 or 3 weeks and do the hard things, I do hard things, we do hard things, it'll be easy. But if you keep coasting, well, I'm talking to 4, 5, 6, 7 a day. You're playing patty cake. You're playing hopscotch. You're playing dodgeball at the school. I'm glad you like volleyball. It's fun. We all like volleyball. But you're not a man. You're not a woman. I'm going to challenge you because now, if your bills are paid and you have no worries and your family's taken care of, and that's what you want to do, you are. I take that back. But if you have financial problems and you're not providing for your family the way you want to, and your car's in danger of being repossessed, and you may have to move because you can't pay the rent or the mortgage, and your kids are in public schools and you want them in private schools, you could do something about it, but you're not willing to because of your ego. Because it hurts my ego. It hurts me. Think about them. Who's them? Your children, if you have them, your grandchildren, if you have them, your husband, your wife, your family. I don't know about you. I heard another great story about a king. He's got this beautiful castle like Camelot, and the day comes and he announces to the whole countryside, "Here's my daughter," and she was beautiful. He goes, "I want the bravest man in the kingdom. He can marry my daughter, and he will get my royal signet, my ring, and he can have part of my kingdom and marry my daughter, the princess." And she was beautiful princess, and the whole everyone showed up. The bravest men showed up throughout his kingdom, and they're all standing there in front of his castle, the drawbridge and the moat, this beautiful, look like Camelot. And he goes, all you have to do to have my daughter's hand. And there's like 300, 400 mighty men of valor from the kingdom that came to compete for the daughter's hand, the king's daughter, the princess. And he goes, all you have to do is dive into this moat that's loaded with crocodiles. Like there must be 80 of them in there. And they're like 14 footers, 12 footers, 18 footers, man eaters, loaded with crocodiles. You dive into this moat, you swim across. The first man to come to the other side, bow before me and kiss my royal signet, you get my daughter. Just like this, the guy just dives into the water and everyone was horrified. He's like, bam, out the other side, jumps up. He comes over. The place goes wild. They go wild. Everyone's cheering. Oh my God, it's the bravest thing I've ever seen in my life. The king's like, oh my gosh, I didn't think anyone would actually do it. And he's like, you're the bravest man in my kingdom. Oh my God, everyone's cheering. He gives him the royal signet. He just presents his daughter. And he goes, do you have anything you want to say to everybody? And the guy goes, yes, I do. Who pushed me? And so here's the deal. I'm trying to push you today. I'm trying to push you into the moat of your fears, which are just fears. You don't live in the Ukraine. You're not in Afghanistan. You're not in some, you know, communist or some horrible part of the earth, Yemen, where people truly don't have opportunity. You're not in Somalia. You're not in somewhere where people get decapitated or shot on or taken slave on. You're in the United States of America, and there is so much opportunity around you. I mean, if you look at George here, he's in Montreal, Canada. I assume George, that is Montreal behind you. There's trillions, not billion, trillions of dollars in business happening right now. I look at Jeffrey Russell from Newport Beach, California. Jeffrey, there is billions and trillions of dollars happening all around Newport Beach and La Jolla and LA. And you just got to step up. Well, I'm trying. It's not working. No, no, no. So you're talking to, instead of doing 2, 3, 4, 5 a day, 10x it, do 20, 30, 40, 50 a day. Now you're cooking with gas. Now you're dangerous. You're dangerous. It is not magic, it is motion. Don't get between you and your objective when you're fighting for your children, but when you're thinking about how you'd be embarrassed, you don't want to be that guy, that gal. What, the one who's fighting for the children? The one like Dalen Oglesby? This applies to you. You raise funds for Forward Edge and sell a home, sell it, save a child. It applies to you. You could, so you think, am I really? No, we're not. And yes, you could do more. And then my secret weapon, and this is just my secret weapon. You don't have to do this. And this is my absolute secret weapon. I should talk about it more. Is I get on my knees and I ask God humbly for help. And I pray for his will. It's not bless me, bless me, bless me, double, triple, quadruple my empire. It's God, hey, if you want me to work with Brian Moses, God, let that happen. Let me work with Brian. But if you want Brian to be at Coldwell Banker, you want him to be at Century 21 or Compass, because he's on assignment there for you. See, I don't believe everyone's supposed to be at EXP. And so I'm not praying, God, help me get Herb Rim to EXP. God, I tell him what I want to do. And I said, but I present it to him. I say, your will be done. And that may or may not be a fit for you, but it's my secret weapon, because it says in Proverbs, prayer is powerful and effective. And we went to a church thing 16 years ago, and the guy challenged us. He goes, how many of you have a director of finance for your company? Yeah. How many of you have a director of sales, a vice president of sales, or president? Yeah. How many of you have a CFO? Yeah. CMO. Big companies have a CMO, chief market. EXP, Wendy, right? Our CMO. We got Leo, our president. How many you have a head? He goes, how many of you believe that prayer is powerful and effective in your faith-based Christian entrepreneur? Yeah. He goes, how many of you have a director of prayer? No hands. Because I'm not saying you have to. It's a little radical and crazy. Kathy and I hired someone full-time 17 years ago who's been praying over our business, praying over our children, praying over our marriage. Rachel Greenouch, and she's been praying for us for 17 years. We have a director of prayer. Well, that's kind of radical. Yes! I'm trying to tell you, you're not going to succeed wildly beyond your wildest dreams if you're not taking steps. I could also tell you 1,000 failures. I did TV, spent $160,000, bombed. I did radio again and again, bombed. You gotta fail forward. So that was number one. I have 10 steps. How far have I gone? Oh, I got 6 minutes left. I'm doing really good. That was number one. That's just number one. So this Puerto Rican coffee is for real. Now, I know, don't do drugs. I know it might be kind of, I don't know, God forgive me, but this stuff's good. Number two, proximity is power. And I'm preaching to the choir. There's 33 of you on here right now, and we're together on this Zoom, and you're getting input, and you're getting input that says, be grateful. What you focus on expands on what God has blessed you with. Expand on where you want to go, not where you want to be, not where you can't go. Expand on why you can, not why you can't. If you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. Don't argue for your limitations. Don't argue for your limitations. If you could, okay, you win. It's hard because my car is in bad shape. It's hard because I'm shy. It's hard. I don't have enough money to do it. I'm really struggling. You sold me. So what's going to change? You just argued for all your limitations. Nothing's going to change. I wish I could tell you that you're going to just really be super successful and it's going to be really easy. I'm going to let you in on a secret. Write this one down. I'm going to write it down. You ready? If you build it easy, It's really hard. And I found that in real estate. I found that in agent attraction. I found that in everything I've done in my life. But if you build it hard, it's really easy. It gets easy quickly if you go for it. What did Jess Ross do in South Carolina? She texted 50 people a day, saying, call me, here's my picture, here's this. I'd love your referrals. 250, 1,000 a month, 12,000 people in a year. And she went from 40, 45 sales a year to 75. And then without doing it the second year, she did it one time. This year, it's just taken on a life of its own. She'll do 100. You know what she spends on marketing? $200 a month. You know what her profit is? Peer followed to the bottom line. She's the number one land and ranch person at EXP. Jess Ross, South Carolina. That's massive action. So you get around people like that. Power, proximity is power. Get around the movers and shakers. Get around the people who are winning. You need that. I'm doing a mastermind this weekend in Puerto Rico. Some of you are coming out to it. Awesome. I'll be doing one next year. Awesome. I'm doing the Cabo event. Awesome. I went to Mega Camp. I went to Toronto and met Brian Moses and heard him in 1999 share his story. He inspired me to go to the next level. He still inspires me. Seen him at Tony Robbins events, senior leader. He's still committed to growing personally. The second I've been there, I've been to Cabo, I've been to Tony Robbins, I've been to 10X. Go again. It was the fifth UPW. I'm literally flying to go, what am I doing? I've already been 4 times. The content is pretty much darn near the same every time they have a system. It blew me out of my chair. It was the best one times 100. I don't know. I was just ready. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So number 3, get clear on what will move the needle for you this year. And for some of you, it's health. That's what you need to do. For some of you, it's faith. You need to pursue your faith. You feel empty and hollow. You might even be feeling depressed and suicidal. Call Daylin Oglesby. She will pray for you. She's a godly Christian woman. Call me. I would love to pray for you. We all go through depression. I've been depressed in my life before. I spent a summer at Lake Tahoe when I was 19. I remember being so depressed as the sun set over that lake. I was alone up there, had a cabin on the lake, but I was alone. I was digging ditches and putting in fire lines and re-roofing cabins. I was completely alone. It was the most isolated alone I've ever felt in my life. I thought it'd be the most fun summer. It sucked. When the sun sets and you're alone and you're sitting on top of a granite boulder at 8,000 feet alone, and I wasn't a Christian back then. I remember being depressed all summer. It was the worst summer of my life. And so maybe you're fighting depression. Reach out to me, man. I would love to help you. I won't think weird of you. What's weird is if you don't reach out. Reach out. So you could call Mr. Nashville Drew, but he won't help you. No, I'm kidding. He's right there. Hey, Drew. He's got his little beanie on. It must be cold in Nashville.
It
Oh
is
man.
cold out here.
Yeah, it is. That's hilarious. Okay, so get clear on what will move the needle for you this year, both in sales for real estate and in agent attraction. Like, what's it going to take? Number 4, be a student of life. Be a student of life. Be a student of real estate. That's why I go to UPW. That's why I go to John Maxwell events. That's why I'm going to the Create conference at the end of January in Atlanta. I'm going to be there for 2 days. I go every year. It's my 5th year. That's why I just got back from Mexico, Zenith Business Club. Well, you've got money. No, no, no. I did this when I didn't have money. I did this when I was hurting. I've eaten granola bars and shared rooms with people. And in 2010 and 11, we were broke. We lost our home to foreclosure. I used to go to events and share a room with Curtis Johnson. I go, Curtis, you want to share a room again? He's like, heck yeah, I want to share a room again. We'd share a room to cut the room cost in half. And we take a taxi and not move. And like, you want to go to breakfast? No, I'm good. I'm just going to have coffee and work on my notes. I didn't have money for breakfast. Man, we all been there. You can cry boo-hoo or you can make it happen. But get to that stuff. Number 5, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail by definition. Number 5, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail by definition. If you have no plan, you're going nowhere. What is your plan for 2026 to make it different than 2025? And you think, well, I was really happy. Well, then keep doing it. But if you're like me, I always want to improve something, and things are great, but I want. What's the saying? The biggest room in the world. It's not the Taj Mahal. It's not, you know, some beautiful church in Europe, the Sistine Chapel. It's the room for improvement. That's the biggest room in the world, the room for improvement. Or are you just the best friend anyone could ever have? Or could you be a better friend? Could you be a better grandpa or grandma or grandson or granddaughter? Could you be better business person, better commercial agent, luxury agent, residential agent, or you've got it all dialed in? You just I'm perfect in every way, man. So you got to have a plan. Like what's going to move the needle? The big five things: family, faith, finance, fitness, and fun. The five F's: faith, family, fitness, finance, and fun. Those are the way I actually prioritize them. And I prioritize my wife above the kids, and I tell them that. I didn't marry you kids. I love you. You were just born out of fun weekends. But, I married. Did he just say that? Jim Fury, you smile. Do you think I don't watch you guys? I watch you guys. You're a bad man, Jim. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. You're not a bad man. But here's the bottom line. I married their mother. I love my kids. I would take a bullet for my kids. I would die for my kids if I had. And I think every one of you would certainly. It's you or your daughter, you or your son. We would just give our life for our son or my daughter. Now that's how you prospect when you can get that dramatic about it. Because guess what? It's that serious. And so, challenge you: be a student of life, be a student of real estate, come up with the plan, and then what is the plan? It's your daily non-negotiables. Your daily, not like I went to the sauna today for 20 minutes. I went to the gym this morning. I played golf with Gene Frederick afterwards. It's a non-negotiable. I shot a 78 today. Gene shot a 77. Sucker beat me. I shot 78. It's a really good golf score. Anyways, but come up with a plan. What are your daily number 6? Time block. Again, in my opinion, what I do, you do your own thing. I put faith in first. I put in like church. Wednesday, I do a Bible study here in Palmas Del Mar. I just started a month ago, and I have a bunch of EXP crazy guys that like they've never read the Bible or they've never had someone actually pray for them. And they're like, wow, that was really cool. I've always wanted to go to a Bible study. And they're like, Jay Nelson was here and he had this Bible and it was all thee and thou and thus saith. And he goes, I don't even understand what this is saying. I go, Jay, like, do you normally read Latin and Old English written from 200 or 300 years ago? Well, no. I go, let's get a new Bible, dude. Get one that says dude. No, I'm just kidding. But get one that is in written in today's. And so he's reading his and none of us knew quite what it was saying. It's written in Old English. And then it's hard to understand. And no wonder it was hard for him. And he's reading, I said, well, I understand that. I go, Jay, I'm going to give you a Bible. And so up to you. Somebody else had never read the Gospels. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. They read the Psalms here, there, the Proverbs. They never read it. I go, start with John, read the book of John. It's really easy to read. If you're like, I'm interested, read the book of John. It's 4 Gospels, the account of life and times of Jesus Christ. That's another thing. But time block that stuff. Number 7, you must develop momentum. Tony Robbins says, and I'm a huge fan of Tony, and a lot of us are, everything is easier with momentum. Losing weight's easier with momentum. Falling in love is easier with momentum. Financial, paying off your credit cards, and when you get momentum, selling homes, man, you show up buyer property, they buy, you go on a listing appointment, they list, and everything you touch turns to gold when you kind of get the big mo in real estate. And so, agent attraction is easier with momentum. Oh, I just signed up a Compass agent. We have a Coldwell Baker joining us over here. Today, I got 2 Keller Williams agents, stars in a certain Midwest town. I don't want to say where because they're not here yet. And they're mega stars for Keller Williams, and they're coming. They committed today. I'm super excited about it. I'll tell you this, in Texas, I got another gal, 45 sales a year, Texas, Keller Williams star today. I'm just like knocking them in. And she's like, why did you said you liked Remax, but you loved Keller Williams. Why would you leave a company you love? She goes, why did you join the XP? I go, that is the $1 million question. That is the right question. I go, because there was no off ramp for Keller Williams. You work until you die or until you just quit working, then you never get paid again. And so my parents did that for 30 years for Coldwell Banker. They closed their last deal. And that my dad's 90 this next week. I'm flying back from Puerto Rico to have a big party for my dad. He turns 90. But they did the last deal at 75 and 76. They almost 15 years ago. They have not seen $1 after giving 55 years of their life. That is why I did EXP. I didn't want to, if I want to work till I'm 75 or 85 or 95, great. But they worked late. I remember they worked late in life because they needed the money. They were only making like 100,000 back then. But they're like, man, when we quit working, there goes the 100. Literally, what's left? Social Security. That is their complete. They did pay off a duplex, that income from both sides, and they had a little condo. And between that, Social Security, they're good. But not everybody pays off their home, pays off their cars, and owns a duplex and a condo outright. But they're okay. But had they not done that, Social Security would not be enough in California to survive. So they leave their family and go move to some desolate town in Nevada or some inexpensive town in New Mexico just to be able to retire. My secretary retired to Arizona way in the boonies because she could get a home for very inexpensive. And I gave her 50 grand for the down payment. And then when she got it all settled, she paid me back. But I remember that. And I go, who do you know there? She says, nobody, but that's where we can afford to live. And so you want options. Number seven's build momentum. Everything's easier with momentum. Number eight, victim or victor. The choice is yours. You can either be a victim or you can give away your power. When you blame anyone, your wife, your husband, if my husband would just help me, if he just do agent attraction for me, if my wife would just, she's so good, if she just do agent attraction for me, I hired someone, if they just do it, okay, they're not doing it. So now what? You got to do it. You got to do it. And so when you blame other people, you become powerless. Do not give away your power. There's also an Eleanor Roosevelt quote that kind of goes with this, and I love it. If nobody it's a great quote. Nobody has the power to make you feel inferior without your consent. So if somebody's making you feel cruddy, you signed on to that. Like if you're feeling bad, you consented to it. I mean, people say stuff. I'm like, oh, they don't know me. Because if they know me, they're going to love me. Everybody loves me. Now, no, not everyone loves me, but you should all say that to yourself. Everybody loves me. Like, believe it. It's not true. I get it. There's people who don't like you. I have people for sure that do not like me, don't understand me, heard whatever they've heard. Um, I got a couple lawsuits going where people said some terrible things about me, and my kids have read that stuff. My parents have read that stuff. It's not true at all, but they've read it. They don't know me. They're like, oh man, he's a bad guy. That's life. I think there's this guy named Jesus who was falsely accused, and they said some bad things about him too. I'm in good company. So here's the deal. Don't be suckered by this stuff. You're going to have, I heard this. Mike Tyson says this. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the nose. And some of you have been punched in the nose. You're punched in the nose right now, and you're like, oh man, this hurts. I don't know if I can take this. You're focused on the pain. You got to focus on the reward. You got to focus on the why, not the pain. So Burl's note taker just came in. I don't know if Burl's here, but Burl, are you here yet? So I got 2 points left, and then hopefully Burl will jump on. We're at that 1 minute away. Energy. The point number 9, energy, positive or negative. Which one are you? Are you a life enhancer or well poisoner? We've all met people who come in, they poison wells. So like, oh man, so-and-so's here. Well poisoner, terrible. Here comes Burl Workman. He is a life enhancer. Do you enhance the lives of the people you come? Do you leave the campsite cleaner than you found it? When you go hiking and you see a Dorito bag and an aluminum can and some trash, do you pick it up? I do. I was raised that way. When we go camping, I guarantee the campsite at Zephyr Cove at Lake Tahoe, where we grew up camping in the 60s, we left it. It was prestigious. Like, well, we didn't put that trash there. And, I'm a part of the solution, not the problem. I can't tell you the times we've hiked along rivers and brought out as much trash as we could carry. We're just going to do, we're not going to leave it there. If I have the ability to carry it out, and I may get it on the way back. I may not carry it all there on the way back. I go, oh, yeah, I'm going to grab that. And so that's what you want to do. And finally, so your energy, you can really be a cognitive, intentional, purposeful effort to have good energy. I listen to music. I was listening to a song called Stomp. It's like gospel music called Stomp. Look it up on YouTube. It was awesome. Kirk Franklin, I think, sings it. Go to YouTube and type in the word Stomp and listen to it's gospel music. Kathy shut the door. I was taking a shower, getting ready. full maximum power. And so, but I changed my state with music. I changed my state with the shower. I got music. I get myself ready because I'm going to bring energy. I'll never take energy because I'm very cognitive. I'm a room lifter. Write that down. Are you a room lifter? Or are you an energy suck, energy vampire? We love being around. Oh man. Some people walking, oh man, so and so's here. Some people walking, oh man, Craig's here, Jim Fury's here, Herb Rim's here. I love Herb. Mark's here, Carmen's here, Tom Costello. I love Tom. And so, are you that person? Be that person. In high school in 1984, there was a guy named Bill Lowe, and he loved everyone. He's the most popular guy at Del Campo High School in Sacramento, California. Bill loved everybody: the jocks, the stoners, the glee club, the chess geeks, the library geeks, the athletes. Just Bill had that bigger than life persona, and he was kind and loving to everybody. There was no clique that Bill wouldn't just walk into and hug people and high five them. And he was just, and I go, you know what? I wasn't a Christian back then. So it wasn't WWJD. What would Jesus do? It was WWBD. What would Bill do? Bill would be loving, kind, walk in, lift the room. He had great energy. Everybody loved this man. And he passed away in his 40s. And I cried hard. I hadn't seen him in 20 years, but I bawled bad. And it's a massive heart attack while fly fishing, and a life gone too young. That's the other thing. But so and finally, number 10, I'm going to give it to Verl. Sorry, Verl, I got carried away. Get to work, grind, rise and shine, challenge yourself, remove the distractions, delegate to elevate, remove the distractions, delegate to elevate, remove the distraction, right? Get to work, follow that plan. And with that,